All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a groundbreaking moment in television history, the inaugural edition of GUYZ Hangout Show, reaching you live on independent television here from our Benin Network studio. My name is Daniel Praise Osedebami. Of course, I'm going to be your host, and I'm honored to embark on this insightful journey alongside our distinguished discursant, Benedict Ochiagu and Ejiaye Williams Kemi. Now, today we tackle a topic that resonates with many, dealing with the pressure of singlehood. Okay, let's quickly dive straight into the conversation. Good morning and good to see you, Benedict Ochiagu.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure being around, and for the very first edition we have actually looked forward to this day. We have actually anticipated this day, looking forward to it, and finally the day is here. It's an amazing moment for me personally, and it shows how much consistency brings to bear, and that's what is it, a proof of consistency over the years and metamorphosing into TV program right now. It's an amazing time, and we are going to cruise.
Definitely. Ejiaye Williams Kemi, you've been talking on radio as far as GUYZ Hangout Show is concerned. Now prepared live on television. What says you?
Yeah, it's great. It shows how progressive we are, and for the listeners who are not on viewers, for them to see the face behind the scene ever since, and then it's great going on air, and that's so that this program is a progressive one, and definitely is going to be an interesting one, being that on air now, and hopefully you'll start seeing the people behind the program, and they have a lovely time with us.
All right, definitely, they're certainly going to have a lovely time with us. Let's go straight to the conversation. Benedict Ochiagu, considering societal expectation, how do you perceive the unique pressures that individuals, especially men, face when navigating singlehood?
Of course, the pressure is real. Seriously, it is very, very real. And then we cannot downplay the effect it is having, a very negative effect it is having on a lot of single guys out there. But also, I think I have the guys to blame sometimes, because being a single guy or a single lady does not actually make you less of a person or less of a successful individual. The reason being that success is not a kind of genetics. It's not a kind of, it doesn't really have to do with, okay, your marital status or how successful your marriage is. That is what culminates into your personal success as an individual. I'm not ruling out the place of being successfully married, the role it plays in society, and your success drive. But what I'm trying to say is that it is very, very real in our society. You see a lot of people out there making a lot of mistakes because of all of these pressures. When are you going to get married? And then some of them, the pressure does not even come as a result of words that are coming from your family members, from your friends, from colleagues. Sometimes it can be as a result of non-verbal gestures, such as maybe you go to some occasions, sometimes you see the people, those your friends that are already married,
so the ones
what they are discussing, what they are discussing is about my wife, how me and my wife went so and so, and then how me and my kids,
how we are going to wear matching outfits,
and then and you are sitting there and you are just a kind of ostracized out of the totally out of the system, and then you hear about plans for vacation. Of course, Valentine is coming right now. I say, I'm going to spoil my wife, I'm going to spoil my baby, and you don't have anybody to, and so all of those things seem to give a kind of feedback. You
negative feedback.
Yeah, it gives a kind of feedback, although when you open your mind to it, because you can actually control the feedback that comes to you. This is you. If you open your mind to it, it's a very dangerous one. But sometimes you have to build a kind of defense mechanism in your mind. And how does that happen? It is such that you have to build a cycle of progressive.
Okay, now we'll be diving into that in a moment. We'll be providing solutions on how to navigate through this pressure and singlehood, especially. Williams talk. You're going to give us insights, walk us through. Do you really believe in pressure? Should young persons, guys especially, should we bow to pressures?
I see no reason why you should bow to pressure. You know, as we said previously, you need to take the stage of life slow and steady, so that you don't just take any rough decision that will now hurt you in subsequent time. You know, this issue of getting married, if like bound to pressure to get married, you need to understand that it's an institution that there's no buying out. It's a very long lifetime institution that there is no graduation. You get in, imagine you are going to live with a lady for the rest of your life. So it's a decision that you need to take, not in pressure, but out of it, because you are the one that is going to it. You have to be sound. You have to be matured. Everything that makes the marriage works for you, you need to build yourself in those things. You don't just rush into getting married because you are single, because the society, they are pressuring you, probably family or friends pressure, all those kind of things. No, don't look at those things, because they are not the one that will live with you in your house or with you with the wife that you are to get married to. So you need to take it slow and steady. Make sure that you have satisfied everything that there is to be for getting into marriage.
Okay, now the truth is, whether we like it or not, pressures do come.
Yes.
From family,
yes,
the society, where you work, your religion, everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen experience where, let's take it from the other gender now. Once a lady goes through school, through her institution, and she's done, the expectations from her parents is for her to go do her national youth service. And once she's done with that, for a lady, she either gets married or she get a job. In most cases, they expect her to come with a husband. But for a man, when you're done with high institution, you go through your service year, the first expectation that comes from the society, your family, and everyone around is for you to get a good job. And once you get a stable job, you're trying to put yourself together, you're trying to plan your life as a young man, you're trying to see how to navigate the pressure that comes with the economy, the pressure that comes from everywhere. The next expectation that will be coming from people is for you to look for a damsel and get married. Now, most times, most people fall into this trap. I call it a trap because, you know, to an extent, I once told one young guy, I said, as a young man, you're done with school, you just finished your NYC, you got a job 6 months after your service year. Your first 2 years salary, you needed to put your life together. That was what I told him. That's my personal opinion anyway. I told him, your first 2 years salary, you needed to put yourself together. You need to balance some things up. Of course, you need to probably reach out to parents and all that, but you need to balance yourself, get a good accommodation for yourself, plan your next 2 house rents from that 2 years salary and all that. And he was like, no, my parents just told me to get married. He was actually in a serious relationship. Now, he actually fell into that trap and it affected him. After his wedding, 6 months into his wedding, he started borrowing money to survive. He started borrowing money because without finance, you can't service romance. You know, but at the end of the day, it affected him negatively. Now, what says you, looking at this analysis, do you think young people, young men especially, should give in to pressure or hit to pressure? Benedict Ochago.
Well, the thing is that there are a few things I have learned over the years, and basically I have learned those things, most of them from my pastor. Credit to him. And one of them is that marriage is not a next thing.
Okay.
Marriage is not a next thing. Okay, like the analogy.
You'll be telling us the next thing. If you say marriage is not the next thing, hold that on the one hand. Let's move on.
No, like the analogy you just gave. Of course, you have your BSc, the next thing you are expecting is to get a job. Those are all next things. But marriage is a lifetime thing, so it's basically not a next thing. Of course, when you leave secondary school, it's expected that, for example, you go to the university, for example, or learn a trade, and those are next things.
Okay.
Because 4 years you are out of it. So, but basically for a marriage, it's not a next thing because it's a lifetime event. And so, basically, you must have a life before you go for a life partner.
You must have a life.
A life. Before you go for a life partner. Because nobody will come. A lot of people that are pressuring you to go into marriage, to have marriage and all of that, they don't care about you. They don't basically care about it. They only care about the event. Let's come together and let's give him a name that is not a married man, not a married lady. That's what they care about.
Where should be? It's wise. It's jollof and all.
They don't care about you.
Okay.
That's what you must understand.
No, not me now. Not me.
Right. I'm not talking to you directly. I'm just talking to the guys out there.
Yes, sir.
Before you start killing yourself over what your friends are saying, your parents are saying, your colleagues are saying, mind you, some of them are very sincere about their approved. That's why sometimes you must be very, very also careful how you treat them.
Williams on the chief executive, but you actually said marriage is not the next thing.
It's not.
And I was saying, what is the next thing? We'll get to Williams in a moment. What is the next thing?
The next thing is that, you see, when we are saying
you actually say get a life before getting a life. Is that part of the next thing?
Now everything that has to do with your life, your growth, you understand, building a system that works, building a system that ensures that you don't marry today and beg tomorrow, those are next things. But for marriage, basically, exclusively, it is not part of all of those next things. There are a lot of things that can be next, but marriage is never one of them.
All right, Benedict. Williams, you want to share more?
I think Benedict should have make it plain. This is a serious business you're talking about. You get that from you graduate from
make
school.
It plain in what sense? You don't
graduate from school. Now I want to make it look complex.
Okay.
You graduate from school. The next thing you're supposed to do is to go work, establish yourself in that place of work, get experienced, or if you are doing business, establish your business that income is flowing before you now think of adding somebody to yourself.
Okay.
Because now, just like you said, it's in the place of introductory. There's without no money, there's no romance. Now the woman will get to an extent that it's not because that is your wife or whatsoever. You will get to a place where she will start nagging on you. So it will get to a point where love will fade out. Yes, it will nagging on you. So you need to have sustained something that is fetching you money, that income, steady. If it's not steady, but at least it does not go dry for like 2 or 3 months. That is the risk most people take, that it does not even worth it. You know, just like the way you got your analysis now. So now you have resorted to begging.
Yes. 6 months after
marriage. But you remember there were some people who were already pressuring you to go and get married. They were there to eat your jollof rice and all that. If you go and beg them money, now they look at you and say you are not responsible. In the first place, when you are not married, they call you not responsible. You are married, you are begging for harms. They call you not responsible. So what is the need of forcing yourself into such unnecessary pressure when you know deep down within you that you are not ready? Because that issue of financial responsibility is what is causing a lot of crisis. The responsibility actually makes a man responsible. That's what most people feel. So do you think those in authority, there are persons we hold in high esteem, and these persons have a way of speaking to us and we respond to them? Our pastors, our imams, people we respect in our communities, our parents, bosses at work, and all of that, elder brothers, big uncles that you look up to, and these persons, they kind of form a kind of authority in your life. So when some of them speak, they tend to listen to them because of the role they play in your life, the respect and all of that. Now at the end of the day, some of these authorities, they give you some certain advice that doesn't really go down well with you as a person, but because you just want to probably impress them and depress yourself in a way, you just end up falling into their hands or aligning yourself with their thoughts. And probably most times we miss it as men.
DPO, before you begin to respect, of course, I'm coming from a background that I honor authorities. So when I speak like this, it's not like I'm trying to talk down on authorities. But one thing I will say here is that before you begin to take advices from authorities and all of that, first of all, know yourself. It is in knowing yourself that you will know the counsels that are for you, or the advices that when you take it, it will be able to drive you through the course of your life. Because the people advising you means well. Take note, they mean well for you. They are coming from a place of experience. But unfortunately, some of this experience, some of them are peculiar to them. Not you as a person. And so they will speak from where they know up to. With all sincerity. That's why you must honor them. Even when you have to discard some of the things they tell you, you must do it with utmost respect. But one thing you must also understand is that while we talk, we have been talking about money, finance, and all of that. It's not only finance, but before I go into that, let me also establish first of all that there are things you need to do when you have to deal with these authorities, maybe like mom, bosses, pastors in church, your spiritual father, all of that. One thing you must master as a single person that doesn't want to put yourself under pressure is how to reassure those that means well for you that you are fine.
Okay, now let's just quickly let's just let our viewers know that this is still a GUYZ Hangout show, which you live from independent television. Of course, we are discussing dealing with the pressure that comes with singlehood. You can send a text message and of course share your thought on our WhatsApp platform 08020898785. The number is being displayed on your screen right now, 08020898785. Just help us drop your thought as a text message or WhatsApp message. We'll definitely read it out in our next edition, just to ensure that we are carrying you along. Thank you so much, Benedict. Quickly.
All right. So what I was trying to say is that you must master the art of assuring them and reassuring them that you are fine being single. Okay. You understand? Because they want you to be fine. That is basically why they are after you. Because they see that perhaps some of them marriage has actually made their life better. But for you at this time, you must give them assurance that being single actually makes me better right now. And give them assurance that when it is time you feel you want to get married, that
so I want to take this to William's talk. We'll pause you a little bit at it. Okay. Now the truth is, to an extent, we've seen where people bow to those in authorities, and at the end of the day, they miss it in life. I have a practical example. I know of someone who is a clergyman, a very young guy that he joined a particular ministry as a pastor. He was actually doing fine as a federal civil servant. So he migrated from civil service and actually said he had a call. He was single then, so he went into ministry, started very well, grew to the rank and file and became an area pastor. Now he was supposed to be posted to another branch as a zonal overseer, but they now told him there is a peg here, you can't move beyond this stage because you are single. But that is not the pattern of the church. But just because there are
cycles of
persons around those people he submits to at the state level, because the church have a kind of hierarchy, that you have to go through. So he was an area pastor already. He has pastored about 6-7 branches of that church, big branches, and he was supposed to be, in fact he has gotten his letter to go to the next place as a zonal pastor, and a call came, and that call came from the district church, and they were like, no, he's a single man, this place is bigger than him, since he's single he shouldn't be transferred. Now they now called for a meeting. Well, sorry, we can't transfer you there. They took him to another station, another zonal church, though bigger than where he was taken to as an assistant pastor. They now told him, get married, go look for a wife, then we will now recommend for your transfer. This was just an internal arrangement. At the end of the day, he agreed. He got a wife, fire brigade approach marriage. Within 3-4 months, he got someone who based somewhere in Abuja, he based somewhere in South, and they came for the wedding and all that. That wedding didn't last 3 months. The girl picked her things and left. What happened? She felt, oh, this is not what I bargained for. Okay. The salary is nowhere to, the salary itself is nothing to write home about. It can't even buy my bone stray hair. What do you call that hair wear now? The salary itself cannot get my cream and all that. She left the marriage. This young man was devastated. And the same people now told him, oh, you can't be a divorcee and be in this church as a pastor. He was asked to take a bow out of the ministry, which he did. Why? They felt, you got married in this church, you can't continue as a pastor since your wife have left. If she doesn't return back, we cannot retain you as a pastor. So he was now forced to leave. In fact, he was sacked. These same persons who actually convinced him to get married, when the thing became tough, they were not there. As a matter of fact, they backed up.
Because they don't care.
See. So Benedict, Williams now. Benedict, let's hold on. Let's get to Williams. Williams, in this case, what should we now do?
Now, this is
how do we manage this kind of issue?
It's a very serious issue. There's a young man and there's a ministry. These two parties. The ministry, they refuse to understand that spirituality is not the status of an individual. What is the stand of that individual with God? That is what
spirituality. Yes, we are not really talking religion.
I know. I just want to bring the two sides now, because he's a young man. They don't know his spiritual stand with God. Now you are equating, they are not trying to equate spirituality now with
this marital status.
Yes, that is when you become more spiritual to handle congregation. We've seen young marrieds who are handling congregations and are doing well. So, on the part of the young man, you probably was not convinced with his own stand with God. You understand? Because if he was convinced with his own stand with God, he would not bow to that pressure. Maybe you don't know your stand with God. Now, it's you to make the decision. What was God's communication to you when you now ask yourself, this is what is going on in the system? Did you ask God? Is it really time for me to get married? Because in life, even if you say being a single or married is something that the society is taking too serious, that there are society place you cannot attend because you are not married.
Well, that's political officers say. They will tell you, he's a single man. You want to become the next governor of the state? No, it can't work.
I see. Why must you put yourself in those prayers? When is your time? You get married, you need to first of all fix those dots.
Okay.
Because there were some dots that the young man did not fix.
We'll come back to some of those dots. Just help us put it on one hand. Benedict, you were trying to land on something.
Yeah, like I was trying to say, basically about some of these things, one of the things you must understand is that life rides on routines. And those routines is what makes a man, not basically marriage. For example, if you are not happy as a single guy or as a single lady, if you are not fulfilled, or if you are not happy as a single person, it is very difficult or practical, almost impossible to be happy as a married person.
Okay.
You understand? What are the things you are doing that makes you happy? What is the cycle you have built around you that gives you a kind of confidence, a kind of, you are pursuing your vision, look at the analogy you just gave about the young man. Vision cut, ministry cut off, and a lot of other things stampeded because you bowed to pressure. But if you had been positively stubborn to stick with your vision.
So won't they see it as disobedience?
Now it is not about how people see you, because the thing is that if you want to make a difference in life, you must step on toes. And some of the toes you must step on are toes of authorities, are toes of even those that means well for you. So we must understand all of these things, that being single, it is not, let me make this statement very clear. Being single is not a problem to fix.
Okay.
Being single, it is not a problem to fix. That, okay, I am single, I have to be working, I have to go to here, I have to do this so that I can fix this problem. It's not a problem to fix. Get a life. Involve yourself in building yourself. Involve yourself in things that makes you happy.
So because all those guys going from one spiritual house to another, drinking anointing oil and taking shots of communion just to get out of singlehood, they're wasting their time.
Yeah, you know why? I'm not saying that it shouldn't be a concern at certain point. It should be a concern, but deal with the things that you feel. You understand that is keeping. For example, sometimes it's an issue of character.
Okay.
There are people that cannot tolerate.
Okay.
You understand? And if you are a guy, let me just land on this point, please,
because we're running out of time, so we need to land now. So take his final thought.
There are people that cannot take what they call, maybe you call it shades.
Okay.
You understand? You must learn to accommodate people, no matter how rash and they are. Maybe that is what you need to deal with.
We saw a video making around one time where this other gender, they actually wore wedding gown. They were shouting, carry me, they go, my husband house. And he actually said, being single is not a problem to fix. They actually went to seek spiritual help. And they felt wearing wedding gown and singing, carry me, they go, my husband's house will actually take them out of singlehood. And of course, as a single man, you don't really need any other extra thing to do. You need to work on yourself, like you said. So what are those dots? And how do we strike a balance? We need to go just 10 seconds.
This is the dot.
10 seconds.
Along the line of being single, while I'm trying to fix those things that are necessary before getting to marriage, what are your attitude towards life? That's the attitude that brings about this delay. You satisfied the other dot, but attitude matters. It's supposed to take you to the attitude, to the next marriage. So when the attitude is not there, you find yourself.
Definitely. We really want to have a second version of this discussion. It's an insightful one. Thank you so much, Williams, Edia Ekemi, Williams Talk, and of course, Benedict Jago, for being part of the first edition. We'll be seeing you at the next one. My name is Daniel Praise Osendebame. Do have yourself a blessed weekend ahead, and bye for now.